What's going on, everybody? This is Bot Critic here. Today, we're going to be looking at and reviewing and giving a comprehensive analysis of Shopify Dash. For those who don't know, this is a strictly Shopify bot. It will work on any Shopify site. However, the developer Hunter has given us some previews of a supreme option to Dash, but so far nothing's been pushed, and it doesn't look like it's going to be pushed for a while. Before I start this analysis of the bot and basically go through each and every section of the bot, I'll give a quick review of it just so you guys know if this is something that you're going to want to purchase. Right now, the bot ranges from anywhere from $500 to $650 for a lifetime version. I don't know the specifics of how much the renewal copies go for. In my opinion, for $60 a month for Dash renewal, it's simply not worth it compared to the price that you could buy a lifetime copy for. Dash Shopify has been around for a while. I know the owner, Hunter. He's a really good developer and he's a nice guy. I don't think the project is going to be exited anytime soon, like some of the other bots who exit quickly after they take your money. This bot has been around for a minute. Um, this bot has shown continuous success and quite long-term success on several sites. It's never going to be the quickest bot to check out. However, on sites like Yeezy Supply, it typically destroys. The last drop that it did really, really, really well on was the black non-reflective Yeezys. Generated tons of checkout links that people use to get 30, 40 pairs. So this spot clearly was worth it for those who ran that day. A lot of the bigger cook group owners say that this bot is the bot you should buy that is going to pay for itself the quickest. I personally own 4 copies of this bot. I've always been a huge Dash supporter. This past drop for the Lundmarks, it didn't do great, so the price is quite low right now. So it may be a good time to pick it up. I don't get paid to say any of this. If the bot sucked, I would say it sucked. And I could tell you that it didn't do well on the last drop, the Easy Supply drop. And that took an effect on the price. So it's up to you if you want to capitalize on that opportunity. However, I'm going to get straight into this review of the bot and go down every single aspect of it so you can get a good idea on how to use it if you own it, or see if it's a bot that you would enjoy to own. Alright, so first off, before you even get into the bot, you're going to need to log into the Shopify Dash dashboard. This is basically going to be your control center of the bot's license. So you're not going to be able to actually do anything with tasks inside that section. You're going to be able to change the password there, deactivate the bot, etc. So that is going to be basically like your control panel of controlling this license. However, once you download the bot to your prospective operating system, if you have a Windows operating system, you must download the Windows version on the dashboard. And if you have a Mac, you need to download the Mac OS version from the dashboard. So it's also going to be a place where you download the bot. Once you download the bot, you're going to need to open it up. You're going to use the same login credentials that you use for the dashboard to get into the bot, and it's going to bring you into this analytics page. What this analytics page is, it's going to show you all of your checkouts that you've had on this specific Dash license. Since this is a brand new registered Dash copy that I'm using today, there's nothing here, but typically you will see many lines over here of all your checkouts, which is quite neat. The only caveat to that is if you're an interested prospect to rent the bot, you do jeopardize having your information looked at by the actual owner of the bot, and I'll get to that right now. Basically, your checkouts will be here. Let's say you buy Easy on Easy Supply, you rent this bot from someone else, and you buy Easy on Easy Supply. You'll see the ID of the checkout. It will say Easy Supply here. Let's say it's a size 6. Product, Easy 350 Lundmark, profile, visa, date, whenever, order number. This is kind of where the caveat comes in. The order number is actually a live Shopify URL where you could click and it actually will bring you to the Easy Supply website and have your checkout information. Now, if you're not the original owner of the license, of the copy of Dash, of the license of Dash, and you check out while renting the bot, if the owner wants, he could check your checkout there. He won't be able to see your card information. He'll be able to see your order number. If he was a really mean person, he could cancel your order, possibly. A lot of sites don't allow cancellations, but possibly. And he may be able to see your name and other parts of your information. So if you're a more confidential person, I could simply say don't rent out this bot for that specific reason. Moving past analytics, we have task management. This is going to be where all of your tasks lie after you've made it. We're going to come back to this section after we make a test task inside the create a task option. So I've already pre-filled a few things over here for you guys, but we're going to go down straight from the top to the bottom of what you could do in this section. It has a lot of different options on how you could use the bot. There really is several different ways, so if you don't know how to use the bot well, you have a way less likelihood of checking out. So you should fool around with the bot. You may not be getting a lot of checkouts at first with the bot just because your options aren't as good, and that's also going to come into play in your settings section. This is the case with any bot. You need to know how to use it. A lot of people think the bot does most of the work, but I simply think the user does most of the work just because how much variation the bot developers allows the user to have in basically the input of what the bot will be doing. They really put a large amount of the customization to the user, which is quite nice if you know how to use it. But if you don't know how to use it, you'll be wondering why I bought a bot and I still haven't checked out anything, which is quite unfortunate, but that is life. Now, let's say we want to check out a Yeezy. We're going to put Yeezy Supplies at the store. If you're in the Asia region, you're going to put Asia, Europe. We don't use the Yeezy Supply 2 backup right now, so you don't need to use that. Okay, so let's click Yeezy Supply. Now, the format of the monitor input, first of all, the monitor input is going to be where you put your keywords. The format of this is quite important because if you don't have a good format, then it won't find the product that you're looking for. Now, the format is going to be a plus sign, very important, and then a keyword, comma. You need to have a comma to separate keyword from keyword. Another plus sign. Never forget the second plus signs. So we'll just say second, comma, anything else. So you could just keep putting keywords in. The more keywords it is, the more specific it's going to come out when it searches for the product. Now, the one thing that you could do to this, other than the plus signs, is very interesting, and a lot of bots have it implemented into their systems, is called a negative keyword. First, what you're going to do is put a negative sign, or a minus sign, or a subtraction sign, whatever you want to call it, and then do your negative keyword. Keep in mind, don't actually write negative. This is an example. So let's say we'll do negative Nike. Okay, just so you get the point here. Basically, what a negative keyword is going to do is it's going to make sure it doesn't pick up any item with this word, the word following the negative sign in the title. Now, why is this good for the user? Let's say we're looking for an item that is a Yeezy plus 350 plus landmark. Now, this seems great and all, but a lot of the times they put an FNF version on the site. So if you're running overnight on Yeezy Supply, you don't want to check out the FNF version. So a lot of the times you'll see minus FNF in Cook Group's keywords. So we're going to do minus FNF. We could also do minus GS. Keep in mind, keywords aren't case sensitive anymore. They used to be with Dash, but now you could do lowercase, so anything goes for that. Now another thing is, let's say you're going for off-white on Kith, you could do off-white, and let's say there's a color option for off-white, and it says, like, let's say the site specifies that it is a color, so you could minus color. Now this is just an example, but keep in mind this is just basically a safety measure for you to make sure you don't check out the wrong item. Moving on to the task details, this is going to be the sizing. You have tons of different sizing options. You have European down here, you have US sizing down here, you have clothing sizing down here. OS is one size, random is going to pick up the first size that it sees. So random I'm going to use for the most hyped items, hoping that it picks up one because any size sells. one size. For instance, cars dropped something tonight. It only came in one size, so we're going to do OS. If you don't know if it's going to be one size or not, you could do random. It'll still pick up fine. Right here is going to be your profile that you're going to pick for the task. In this case, I made a test profile just so we could create the test task. And then here is going to be how many numbers of products that you want inside the task. Most websites is going to only allow, one item per checkout. So we're going to keep this at 99% of the time. I keep it on 100% of the time, but you do what you think is best. Now this is going to be how many tasks you want with these specific task settings. Now if you want 10 tasks that are all like this and like duplicate, it's going to duplicate what card is being used. You could simply do add task, and we're going to see 10 of these tasks down here, all with the same information. Moving forward, task specific proxy. If you want to use one specific proxy for this specific task, you're going to put it in here. If you don't put anything here, it's going to take a proxy from in here. Okay. All right, back to create a task. Now we have 3 different options that you could use for the task. We have a human mode, manual mode, and fast mode. Human mode is working best right now. Manual mode will require you to click and it'll open a browser. Fast mode, I haven't used in a very long time. So human mode is what you're going to be wanting to use at the moment. Now account login. Account login is for sites like Undefeated where it doesn't allow you to check out unless you have an account on the website. Primarily this is basically Undefeated. I only use it on Undefeated like 90% of the time. And then password page. Let's say a site has a password page up and they're going to put on their Instagram story the password. You could enter it here and then it'll create that, it'll input that on all your tasks. So it's actually quite neat. You very rarely need to use this. I know on some Japanese and like Asian sites for art, they'll do a password. I know for, I believe it was either Kith Coke or Kith Tommy, they put a password page on their Instagram, but you typically don't need to use this for most drops. Shipping method, you could choose least expensive, most expensive, avoid in-store shipping method. That is typically going to be what you're going to want to be clicking. Capture priority. Let's say you really like your personal size is a 10 and you really want a 10. If you want to, and you have a bunch of sizes for different tasks, if you really want that size 10 to have the highest chance of getting it, you're going to want to keep it on 0 or put it on 1. This is going to just make sure the first captcha that pops up inside the harvester is going to be for that size 10, making it the first one that's going to submit payment. And that is, actually we do have 2 more options. You could schedule a task over here, and you just click this option. Let's say you're not going to be at your computer, which I never do. I always am at my computer on drop time. I just think it's very difficult. For me, I don't like to not be at my computer while drops going on, especially when my card's entering. I want to be able to stop the bot if I need to stop it. I want to be able to manage everything. So scheduled task is important if you go to school or something like that. Now, what is FSR button? FSR button is full size run. So basically, let's say we want 1 task for every size between 4 and what's a good size for Yeezys? Let's do 9.5. So it's going to take every size between 4 and 9.5. And then you're going to click the profile. And now you're going to have, if you see over here, starting at 4, going all the way to 9.5. We have tons of tasks, 1 for each option. Let's say we wanted 2 for each. We would simply put 2 here, and it would make a duplicate of them. So that's quite neat. Now moving forward, quick task. Let's say that something drops you see something come up inside your monitor or something like that, or someone tweets out a link for something. You enter it, you will paste the link right here and do add task. The only reason why it's basically we see a white ring around this and it's saying like that there's nothing in here is because that there's nothing inside the quick task option over here. You need to make sure you save your quick task options or settings furthermore. And basically, you're going to be setting what card you want the quick task to use, what size you want it to get. So let's say you only want it to be size 10 because that's your size, or let's say you want it random where you don't care. And then how many tasks you want it to make. So that is that. Now moving on to profiles. This is very just run-of-the-mill profiles on any bot will have it. You just put in the profile name, all your card information. The only small setting we have here is same as shipping, so you don't need to type in the same information twice. You also have this import and export button. Basically, if you want to save all your profiles, you're going to hit export. It's going to create a file for you that is formatted correctly for the bot to recognize of all your profiles. And then let's say like you have a server. So what I like to do is put it, before I shut down my server, I'll export this file of my profiles, put it in Dropbox. Next time I need to open up the server, I'll download the profiles from Dropbox and you use the import option to send the profiles back in. Now into the settings stage. The settings stage is quite important. You're going to have the monitor delay and error delay. Error delay is just going to be basically how quick it refreshes when it gets an error. So let's say it's like a 437 error. Monitor delay, and keep in mind this is all in milliseconds. So 1,000 milliseconds in 1 second. You're going to want to keep monitor delay and error delay in the around 1,000 region. To avoid throttling, you may want to slow it down to 3,000 for some drops. Right now, bots are really battling with the Shopify developers anti-bot team. So it's becoming a little more run-of-the-mill to use a slower delay. Webhook, this is an interesting feature. It doesn't help your bot at all. But let's say you want to get a notification inside a Discord channel of your checkouts, you could do that. It doesn't really matter if you do it or not. It's just basically a cool thing that a lot of developers added to the bot. Quick task, we already talked about this. Now, these are it's called advanced options. It's not advanced at all. Enable task, you always want to have that on. Why do you want to have that on? You get full control and not control, but you get a full idea of what the bot's doing. And I'll show you that right now. So let's first disable it. So we'll disable it and save it. Now let's go to the settings. We're going to start this task. We see nothing except what's going on in the background. Not what's going on in the background, but just like step-by-step phases. It's adding to cart, waiting for product, whatever it may be. It's not specific at all. However, when we enable the console, we could see everything that's going on. So now you see this large rectangle appear at the bottom. And now look what you see. This is so awesome because let's say you're getting a bunch of errors that you can't see when you have the console disabled. Now you could literally copy and paste the error code into Google and see what's happening. So let's say you're getting some kind of error and it's a random number, you copy into Google and it says too many requests. You're going to either want to stop that task or slow down your delays. Now, if it's a error code that translates to something like the site is down, then you want to keep the task running because it doesn't matter. It's more helpful to you to keep the task running. So this is something that you're going to want to use, the console. Always really get used to this. It's like one of the best things that bot developers added. Now, auto-click CAPTCHA, instead of you actually having to click the CAPTCHA when it comes up, this will click it for you. I like to use this. Some people say that they don't like to use it. I don't see any issues with it. Proxies, this is just going to be where you copy and paste your proxies. And it also has a test option. I find Dashe's proxy tester quite accurate. So yeah, it's a good proxy tester. You could use Fog London. It's free. You could type it up in Google. You'll get the free one. Now, CAPTCHA harvesters. Here is the window for it where you could just open it, it'll appear. It says CAPTCHA instance. So this is one specific CAPTCHA instance. If you should be putting a proxy inside this section for optimum use, make that proxy not be a proxy that you're using for the task inside the proxy section. Make it completely separate. So don't use the same proxy on both. One thing you should keep in mind is that you don't need it to put a proxy here. It's recommended and it's helpful, but you don't need it. Meaning, if you don't have one here, the bot will still run. Now, if you're very new to botting, you're probably wondering why there's a YouTube button. This is just to help avoid getting basically like the captchas where you need to click every bridge or every fire hydrant or every traffic light, where in the middle of the drop you're just rolling your eyes back when you have to clicking reappearing captchas and you just have a headache from it. This will help you get one-click captchas, which are super convenient. So you're just gonna log into Google or Gmail and then go watch a few YouTube videos so Google thinks that you're a real person. Now you're going to want to always save this stuff. Now let's say you want more than one CAPTCHA instance. Hit new. Now we have 2 CAPTCHA instances, and you're going to want to use a different Gmail and a different proxy on every CAPTCHA instance that you have. Now that seems to be, well, we could still talk about these options down here. Check for updates, very self-explanatory. Change logs, this is going to tell you what the developer changed in the latest updates. So we're going to see this update was for the Lundmark release, which it is a very unfavorable update that kind of caused more damage than good. It was supposed to help queue changes, but a lot of people had trouble with Dash that drop, and a lot of people claim it was because of that update. I don't know for sure. I'm not the developer. I don't see the back end of things. The FAQ will simply take you to Dash's website, dash.io/FAQ. Documentation is going to give you a 404 error because I don't think he has anything there. And privacy and policy is going to give you the legalities of Shopify Dash. Down here, you want to make sure you're always on the latest version of Dash. Dash does have a Discord, however, it's basically closed. Let's say Dash has a restock, you won't be getting a Discord invite with the restock. Now you basically know everything you need to know about Dash, maybe more than you need to know about Dash. But yeah, if this seems like something that you like, definitely buy it. If you want to just test it out, rent it out for a drop, or even ask a friend to rent it out. You could change the password of Dash so easily that if the friend has a bot, it is no risk to him giving you the password to it if he does own the email of the bot. Now, I guess while I'm here, I will say that if you're going to buy the bot, make sure you buy it with the actual Gmail link to the bot. Reason being is they could compromise your account by clicking reset password or forgot my password and requesting a password change, which will be sent to the email. So if you're buying Dash, just make sure you're buying the physical, actual, real Gmail that's attached to the account. So you're going to literally want to buy the email account. Make sure you understand that. And that is completely it for Shopify Dash. In the comment section, comment whatever you want, any suggestions of bots that you think I should review. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe or don't, like or dislike.